Hey guys, I got a special treat for you today. So we are at the new Studio 301 in Sydney. I've flown up from Melbourne for today and we're going to be spending time with Tom, the acousticians, all the guys, just seeing them put the final touches on what is the newest build of the longest running studio in Australia. So it's still a construction site. I've got my work boots on. Come in with me. Let's go check it out.
By nature of the beast, if you build a top-end studio, you got to be into studios because you will not make money with it. I went all out. There was no budget on you in terms of building. It allows you to play on the big stage. It's like if you go to a Formula One race and you come with your sports car, you're not going to win. This is truly within the top 10 studios of the world, no question. I've worked in most of them, I've been there. You want to compete in the market, so Australia needs a world-class studio. And until the new 301, it never had one.
I'm here with Owen Butcher from 301, hey. And he's going to give us a little bit of a walk around, show us some of the rooms. Some are like complete, some are basically like a storeroom, so we'll see how that goes.
Yeah, we're still under construction, so let's see how we go.
Yeah, okay, let's go. So this is the finished product, right?
Yeah. We're sort of looking for the
kind of
industrial
treatment.
chic.
Yeah. Okay. The music's already flowing.
Oh yeah. This is the actual studio wall, which is, I think it's 38 centimeter thick reinforced double brick concrete.
Right.
And this whole thing is actually sitting on pads. So there's Solomon pads that are about this thick. The entire structure is actually floating. So the actual wall and ceiling is one sort of like almost like a bowl that sits down on top of the Solomon. The concrete slab sits within that. So almost everyone inevitably got the question, if there's one thing in the studio you could change, what would that be? The old studio was built in 1999, which involved like tape machines, and Pro Tools wasn't a big thing, and people didn't exactly have laptops they could just bring in and plug in. So now it's more about accessibility and ease of use in the digital world. We've actually increased the size of the control room, which means you can fit more people in. You can set up, a guitarist can set up fully on the floor with all their pedals. We can have keyboard stations, all kinds of things. And they can literally just bring their laptop, plug in, install the HD driver, and off they go. Go into the Studio One live room. So this is going to be the new live room for the studio. 160 square meters for the main room, and then with the booth attached, it's a total of 200 square meters. So this is going to be Studio 2. So again, we've got the sound lock with the racks of equipment in it.
Did you guys have symphonies before?
No.
Right.
So we used to have the old 96 IOs, the old blue HD boxes.
Which meant you were still running like...
We're still running Pro Tools 10. Yeah. So now we've got Pro Tools 2018.1. We've got the Symphony 2 IOs, and they're all linked to Antelope for clocking. So there's a significant improvement in the actual interface department. One of the things with the feedback with the SSL is that people didn't use the full 72 channels. So we've kept the console and pumped it down to 48, which is the size that people actually used. So this is one of our mastering rooms. This is MS3. So this is going to be Steve Smart's new room. At the moment the guys are installing it.
He must be under the pump.
I believe that's the expression.
Yeah. Just loving life though, wiring up
every day.
Yep.
Every day there's things to unwrap and ponder.
So he's actually going to partake in the tuning process. So Jochen and him will basically sit in here for a whole day, working out different things. There's certain parts in the walls that they'll be able to draw holes in to adjust different bits and pieces. So Studio 3 is a bit of a departure from the norm for us. Traditionally, at the old place, we were basically doing stereo all the time. So this new studio is going to be a surround and post room.
Oh yeah.
So we've actually gone and we've got the same monitors in this room as the other studios. We've gone and got the S6. We're going to put a nice big monitor up the top. There's going to be minimal outboard gear in this room because most of the time this room's essentially designed to be all kept in the box, a few preamps and a couple of compressors, so that because there's a booth attached, if people want to do Foley or ADR or even if they do want to stick a drum kit in there, there is some sort of thing there to plug the mics into and actually record stuff with.
Yeah. Like a museum of patch.
Say you set up a drum kit in Studio 2 live room and you wanted to record that in Studio 1, this is where you come to patch that across to the other room. We're going to actually install 3 EMT 140 plates in the roof.
Right.
So they're going to be accessible here, so you can patch them into whichever studio you want. So Studio 1, we're going to have the Studio 24 track in there, and that's going to be permanently set up. Literally just move a couple of DB25s and be up and running for 2-inch tape. And Studio 1 and Studio 2 will both have the Ampex 102 half-inch tape machines.
Right.
This room's going to have the old Neve Custom 75 we used to have in Studio 6, and then we're going to be adding another console to the mix, so we're getting an API 1608, but we'll get the 32 channel version. I think that's coming in a day or two, and then that's going to be in one of the rooms at the back as like a sort of a mix/summing room.
Actually, I know Tom since a lot of years. And suddenly he came to me and asked me, okay, actually he didn't ask, he just said, okay, we are doing a studio together in Sydney. So it's more or less, it's like a little village. There is these concrete houses in that big hall. Like an upside down box, which is floating on the main slab, and inside we have this floating floor again. Very, very early we do a simulation for the modal field. If you do the dimensions wrong, the ratios, you can't heal it later on with room acoustic treatment. Very often I'm asked, oh, can you do a Helmholtz resonator or something like that to heal my room, to get rid of this big dip or something like that. And sometimes, or most of the time, this is nearly impossible. The speaker and the room is one big piece. The main treatment for the very low end is in the back of the room. In the corners we do have Helmholtz resonators, which I will tune later on, still to be done. And a broadband low frequency absorption also in the corners. And in the back of the rooms there is an element which we call Helm fuses. It's more or less a mid and high frequency diffuser, and these holes in between these sheets, the cavities are resonators as well, and they are tuned roughly between 50 and 100 Hertz. And also we do have combinations of heavy foil resonators. Tunable Helmholtz resonators, this is a kind of a Formula One car thing. We only use those in rooms with the top class, so to say. And these Helmholtz, the tunable Helmholtz resonators, we only use in the frequency range, let's say between 25 and 50 Hertz, somewhere there. With all these active resonators, you have to be very careful with decay, otherwise you end up having a resonator with a decay which is longer than the decay of the room. And then you hear the resonator. Very happy with what we have already. So basically we only switched on the speakers and checked how it works without any tweaking, and it's cool. I'm very happy, which is good for all of us, of course. So I did some measurements at the listening position and around the space, and it's very even. You can walk around in the room and it's cool. It's no heavy low frequency end at the back and so on. It's pretty even, and yeah, I hope everybody else is happy as well.
Is there any other place in Australia at the moment where you can do everything from 5.1 sessions to full orchestral recordings to, you know, big band sessions to, you know, hip hop to just producing and having writing rooms? I'm just, you know, this shouldn't exist. 301 shouldn't exist, but it does, and we're better off for it.